development grants just for Panama City or for Bay County, and many tens of millions more that we've done recently with a long-term hurricane recovery. So we're proud of doing that, and we want to do even more as we go forward. I have Richard Corcoran, our Commissioner of Education, here. I'd also like to recognize the principal of the school, Michael McLaughlin, as well, works as superintendent, and then our great superintendent. So thank you guys for being here. We, last year at this time, many of you may remember, a lot of people said you can't have school, you can't have kids in person, you got to just do this virtual, which we felt would be very damaging to our young people to not be able to be in person with their teachers. And there was a big debate about it, and there were a lot of places throughout the country that never had kids in person. They had them out of school for over a year in certain segments of our country. We looked at it last summer. We saw what had happened in other countries that had in-person schooling. We also looked at some of the things that we saw in the United States, and we were very convinced that the data said that schools are not high-risk environments with respect to COVID, and having kids out of school, the harms would be catastrophic, and we've got to do in person. Now, we also told parents last year, look, if you don't want to send them in person, fine, but every parent's got to have the opportunity to send their kids in person, and so we were able to do that, and we had a very successful school year. Yeah, it was more challenging than normal, and I know a lot of the administrators, the principals, the teachers, they had to do things a little bit differently. They had to respond as things changed on the ground, but at the end of the day, they were able to get it done. And I think that of all the things that you can do being involved in education, this last year, having made sure that kids were able to come to school is probably going to be the most significant thing that you could possibly accomplish. Because if you would have kept kids out of school like they did in some of these other parts of the country, I think that would have dug a hole for these kids that they probably would have never come out of. And I think in some of these parts of the country, you're going to have long-term problems. You have kids that have totally fallen off the radar now because they didn't have access to in-person schooling. And so the effect of getting it done, understanding there were challenges, but moving ahead, I think was I think it's hard to quantify. So when we had the legislative session last year, recognizing that, I thought it was appropriate that we recognize the folks who had worked hard for our communities, and we proposed $1,000 bonuses for all principals and school teachers. And we asked for about $215 million. We wanted to provide it for 175,000 full-time school teachers, both with school districts as well as public charter schools, and more than 3,600 public school principals. And so that's a lot of folks, and it's obviously a significant amount of money. And the legislature responded. They supported what we did. They approved it in the budget, and then I signed the budget in June to make those bonuses a reality. And so here today, we're going to be handing out bonuses to teachers, and then throughout the state, teachers are going to be receiving in the mail, who are not part of these ceremonies, they're going to be getting, principals and teachers are going to be getting these $1,000 bonus checks. So we feel that was well deserved. We also did the checks for law enforcement and fire and other first responders. So that was about another $200 million worth of bonuses. So we did about 50,000 sworn law enforcement. I was in Jacksonville yesterday in Pensacola at those departments. We also did an event in Surfside with the firefighters who responded to the Surfside tragedy in June, and that was obviously well deserved because they worked their hearts out there. So we think that we recognized over the last year and a half some of the challenges, and there's a lot of people that have done a lot. This is not to exclude anyone, but certainly our first responders were there. And then given the challenges, the people, the teachers and the principals, we put a lot on their shoulders to make sure that we put these kids first. And people are going to look back and they say, you know what, Florida stood by its kids. Some of these other places turned their back on their kids. And we're going to be, I think, a good example of what you should have done. This also builds off what we've done in the last 2 years. In 2020, we successfully championed a $500 million investment to increase salaries for new and veteran teachers. This in our recent budget that I signed, we did that. We kept that, and we added another $50 million to it. And what that's allowing us to do is a number of things, but I think the most significant is we've now increased the average minimum salary for teachers in Florida from $40,000 to $46,000. And so as you look about long term, trying to get talented people to come in, you know, sometimes it's not as easy nowadays than maybe it used to be. And so we want to make sure, obviously, you're not going to be a billionaire doing this. We understand people are doing it because they want to serve, but it does help to make it a little bit more competitive. So we think that that's something that we're going to keep supporting. And you know, we did it because we know there's a lot of teachers that make a difference. There's a couple teachers here. Katie Ricca is a teacher at North Bay Haven Elementary. In March of 2020, just as we were first learning about COVID, one student in Mrs. Ricca's classroom needed extra help reading. So she drove to the child's house, met with the child outside, and read to him. The children's parents took a picture, posted on social media to thank her, and within hours the story went viral. She started receiving calls from national media asking about the story. She continues to shine and go above and beyond for her students, so thank you very much. We appreciate it. Michelle Stockton is a teacher at North Bay Haven Charter Academy. As a history teacher and Student Government Association leader at North Bay Charter Academy, Michelle has made it her passion to provide normalcy to the community by thinking outside the box, not just in the past year, but also following the impacts of Hurricane Michael. After the hurricane, she helped rally students to a community football game at Bay High School. The rest of the year, she organized pep rallies, dances, and social events while the community was in the middle of rebuilding. And over the past year, she found ways to safely bring kids together for different types of events, including even organized a prom. So, Mrs. Stockton, thank you, and congratulations for all your service. So we're excited to be here. We think that this is a great achievement to be able to recognize folks who really did a lot for our youth. And I'm going to have Richard come up and say a few things, and we'll hand out some checks.
Thank you. I just want to echo, obviously, what the governor said. But the first thing that we ought to be thankful for is it was a year ago before the legislative session. We got Representative Drake here with us. And the governor came out and announced that, hey, this has been a game changer for the state. It's January. We're going into legislative session. I want to give bonuses to our teachers. And here we are. And he wanted to do it, he said, when school opened up. And here we are delivering checks. But it's nice to have a elected leader who makes promises and actually keeps them. It's a special thing for the state of Florida. So we want to thank you, Governor. But also want to say, you know, last summer you guys were all here and you guys all lived through it. It was just a tough time. And I remember waking up and you watch the news and it's like another state's closing, another state's doing this. But not in Florida. You know, when we went through that whole process and the governor made the decision to open up schools, which was the wisest one in the country, and we remember opening up schools that day, and Chancellor Oliva over K-12, we were talking, okay, where's the schools, where are they opening up? And across every single county in the state of Florida, 99, 98, 95% of all teachers came back into the classroom because you guys wanted to be with your kids. You wanted to be there and impart that wisdom and that knowledge and have that stability and that constant in their lives that they were missing for the last 4 or 5 months. And it's an amazing thing, and the governor has said this, but it is true. You know, I always say COVID attacked us, and who fought back were the teachers? Because when you guys came back and you went into those classrooms, amazing things happened. You know, kids were starting to learn, and it was in a well-adjusted and in a great environment. COVID cases dropped. Parents were able to go back to work. The economy started soaring. Everything changed when we opened up schools and you guys came back and took the lead, taking care of our children. And as a father of 6, I just give you a heartfelt thank you. All in public school. I was really glad when we opened up schools. Thank you, Governor. But with that, I just want to say there's no better group of people who were as heroic and deserve these bonuses as all of you guys. And so thank you very, very much. Before we get on the checks, though, we do, as I was just talking about with Chancellor Oliva, with all our superintendents, all 67 counties, we work with them daily, hourly during those early days. And obviously, we're a huge fan of Superintendent Husfeldt. He's a great partner, a great friend. And Bill, will you come up and share a few words?
Governor, I just want to say on behalf of Bay County, we want you to come anytime you want and bring all the checks you want. But I know, Michelle, congratulations, Krista. We appreciate that. And on behalf of all teachers, I echo the sentiments of what the commissioner just said and what the governor said. We couldn't do this without you. You are all so special to students. It doesn't make any difference if you're in a charter school, a non-charter school, a public school, private school or whatever, our children need you teachers. And I know the governor knows that. I'm gonna close with this because I know we're quick on time. But I don't know of a governor, and I'm not trying to get political here, but I don't know of a governor that has put more money in helping raise salaries than what this governor has done. And that's a game changer, because I can tell you right now, and I was talking to Mr. Bollinger earlier, we can't find enough teachers right now. And the only thing that's going to change that is having a governor that keeps putting more money in there to raise the salaries. So, Governor, thank you for that.
Yeah.
We appreciate you being here. Thank you.
You know, it's interesting in terms of some of the, I mean, obviously people want to find teachers. There's the businesses, they're looking for people too. I came driving in from the airport. I mean, I see all these communities that are going to be built up in this area. I mean, you are seeing a real boom in the state of Florida. And I don't know specific, I'd have to ask the folks, you know, down at the beach, but like the tourism, even in August when it's hotter, it's just been off the charts. People are doing very well, and we want to continue to keep that going. But one of the things they always tell me is, you know, it's hard for me to find people to work. And we said, look, we have a couple months ago, we have 500,000 open jobs, and so they're doing so much additional unemployment that it makes it so that it doesn't even make sense. And I don't blame the people for doing that, because why would you? I mean, if people are going to pay you more. So it's really the government's fault for providing the disincentive, but they said, you know, you don't have to necessarily offer that. So we didn't. Seen a flood of people now go in, get gainfully employed. So June, we had about 60,000, I think, private sector jobs created. We'll see what we got in July, but I think it'll be probably pretty good as well because of that. So we're trying to get as many people back into the workforce. Our unemployment's been below the national average really since last summer, and I think that's driven by the fact Northwest Florida has really helped drive that with a lot of the success that's been going on. But I think that if you look, people want to be in Florida more than ever, and unfortunately, I think the secret's a little out about Northwest Florida. It used to be kind of a place, or you know, maybe it wasn't as on the radar, but man, people flood in here like you wouldn't believe. And so, but it's understandable. I mean, it's a great community, and there's a lot of great stuff to offer, and particularly, I think what you guys are doing for education with your K-12 system, it's really important. And I think this is a small token for us to just say thank you. But we do appreciate what you guys are doing and what you've been able to accomplish. So if we want to, you want to read the names, and whoever wants, you guys come up, and we'll give you the check.
Catherine Ricca,
All right. Congratulations. Thanks so much. Yeah.
Michelle Stockton,
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Kelly Allen,
Thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Ashley Christie,
Thank you so much. Yes.
Karen Corbin,
Thank you so much.
Christopher Costa,
Thanks so much.
Tracy Hayden,
Thank you so much.
Janine Howard,
Thank you.
Lisa Kaminskis,
Thanks so much.
Stacy Martin, Kelly Therian,
Thank
and Carmel Weeks.
I think I'm the oldest one.
No. You started when you were 10, right? Yeah. Why don't we do a picture? Let's get that check over here. Here. So you hold this and help hold. You guys come too. Yeah. Anyone else want to get in? You're welcome to come gather around. We could do a couple.
I'm gonna let these ladies get in.
Okay, yeah. You guys come on in.
Yeah. Some of you get in the back. All squeeze in. Yeah. Some of
You got it?
go in the back.
Get that back again?
Can you get the shot? All right, here we go. All right. So what do you, what subject do you teach? Yeah, you teach everything. Okay.
42 years.
I know. I told her, I was like, how'd they let you start teaching when you were 10 years old?
31.
31? Wow. And what do you teach?
History and leadership.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. How about you guys?
Elementary.
Okay, what grade?
Last year, second grade, this year, sixth.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How's that going?
We're hanging in there.
Is today the first day or was yesterday?
Today is staggered start, so today I only have 9. So today's
Okay.
the
Okay.
Yeah.
How about you? Okay.
And I'm sixth grade language arts, 35 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And has it all been in Bay County?
Most of it has been in Bay County. I
Okay.
was in Jackson County before.
Okay.
So,
How about you? How long have you been doing it? Okay. How about you?
second grade. A little bit over 30 years.
In this area?
Alabama and Florida.
Okay. How about you?
Fifth grade, 19 years.
Okay. Good. Well, we appreciate you guys, so thanks for what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course, of
Thank you
course.
for working hard for
Okay.
us.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.